Chapter 9. The Revenant's Successor. The battle raged on, but something about it felt off. Mundes's laughter echoed through the ruins, a deep, resounding sound that sent a chill down Caleb's spine. But it wasn't the laughter of a sadistic killer. It was something else.
Amusement.
Caleb tightened his grip on his sword, sweat dripping down his face. His frost knights flanked him, their armor coated in an icy mist, ready to strike. Lancelot stood just behind him, blade drawn, watching Mundes with calculating eyes.
Then Koga spoke, her voice barely above a whisper. "He's testing you."
Caleb's breath caught in his throat. What?
Lancelot nodded in agreement, his golden eyes locked on Mundes. "It makes sense now, the way he's fighting. He's pushing you, not trying to kill you."
Caleb's mind reeled. Testing him? That didn't make sense. This was a battle, wasn't it? Mundes suddenly lunged forward again, his dark greatsword swinging in a deadly arc. Caleb barely managed to block, his arms shaking from the force. But instead of pressing forward, Mundes grinned.
"You're starting to understand, aren't you?" the Revenant King said.
Caleb's frustration flared. Understand what? That you're toying with me?
Mundes chuckled. "Not toying. Training."
Caleb's eyes widened in shock. What?
Without warning, Mundes caught Caleb's blade mid-swing, stopping the attack effortlessly. Dark energy crackled around his gauntleted fingers, but he didn't strike back. Instead, he stabbed his greatsword into the ground and released Caleb's weapon. The battlefield fell eerily silent.
"I haven't felt a thrill like this in a long time, mortal," Mundes said, his voice laced with something akin to nostalgia. "Your strength, your resolve. They remind me of myself when I was still alive."
Caleb stared at him, panting. What the hell are you talking about?
Mundes extended his hand, revealing a single blackened flower, glowing faintly with silver light.
"You have proven yourself worthy," he said simply.
Caleb took a cautious step back. Worthy of what?
Koga, arms crossed, narrowed her eyes. "It would seem that Mundes was never fighting you with the intent to kill. Think of this as a trial."
Lancelot sighed, sheathing his sword. "And you passed."
Caleb looked between them, still trying to process what was happening. So what? You're saying this whole thing was a test? That he wasn't actually trying to kill me?
Mundes nodded. "Correct."
Caleb ran a hand through his hair, his exhaustion now mixing with sheer confusion. That's insane.
Mundes smirked. "Perhaps. But you've entertained me far more than any warrior in centuries. And because of that..."
He pressed the glowing flower into Caleb's palm.
"I name you my successor."
Caleb felt a surge of cold power course through his veins, as if his very soul was resonating with the flower's energy. The sigil on his hand flared to life once more, reacting to the newfound power.
Caleb swallowed hard. I don't even know what that means.
Mundes let out a booming laugh. "It means, young warrior, that from this day forth, you carry my legacy."
Caleb exchanged glances with Will, Koga, and Lancelot, who all looked just as bewildered as he felt.
This just keeps getting weirder, he muttered.
But deep down, something had changed, and Caleb knew his journey had only just begun.